Coming up on the Geno Auriemma Show, presented by UConn Health.
That's kind of the perfect way to find out almost a month before the NCAA tournament starts. Just how much work you have still to do and how close are you to where you want to be.
Plus,
do you think Stewie should be an Olympian this year?
Do I think she should be an Olympian this year?
Coach Auriemma on whether he believes Brianna Stewart deserves to make the 2016 Olympic team. And Kathy Auriemma on what makes her husband so unique.
Geno's greatest strength is he's not afraid to go right at your heart. You can't be afraid that they're going to crumble, because sometimes that's exactly what they need.
That and much more.
I've become the juvenile delinquent in the house that she's constantly harping on. And I'm not quite thrilled about that.
On the Geno Auriemma Show.
Welcome to the Geno Auriemma Show. I am with Geno Auriemma. And we have a unique situation because this show will air after the South Carolina game. Mm-hmm. So hopefully I can ask you some
questions. You mean the national championship game? Well,
that's what some people are billing it as. Okay. Is that how you want to bill it?
Well, I always thought the national championship game was in April. But
me too, Geno.
If for some people, including the 18,000 that are going to be down there, if it's Monday, February 8th, then okay.
All right. Well, let's get a little preview. I think viewers would be interested to know what you think about the game before the game, and then they can compare it to what happened during the game.
Okay.
All right. So it's a 1 versus 2 on the road for the Huskies. What are the things you think about before a big game like this?
Well, last time it was 1 versus 2. I remember number 2 was at home, and number 1 was on the road, and number 2 won by a lot. So now number 1 is on the road, and number 2 is at home. So we're just hoping number 2 doesn't win by a lot. That's why the beauty of these kinds of games are that they just kind of give you an idea. That's kind of the perfect way to find out almost a month before the NCAA tournament starts. Just how much work you have still to do, and how close are you to where you want to be.
So if this game is a measuring stick game, a way to step out of conference, What are the things you want your team to measure? What will you be looking at as a coach?
For me personally, how are our 2 freshmen going to play? Because this will be the first time that they've been exposed to all this. Whereas, we played at Ohio State. That was their first game. So it's not like, then we played at DePaul. We played Maryland on neutral court. So it's not like they're going into something that is completely unknown to them, but the build-up is going to be different. So I want to see how they handle all the stuff that goes around the game. And then what happens in the game when they're put in a situation where they have to perform, and they have to perform at a real high level. Like, I'm not worried about the other guys. I worry, is Tuck going to be 100%? Because that changes everything for us. If Tuck's 100%, then I feel 100% better. And if Tuck's 20%, then I'd feel only 20% better. And Gabby has not been thrown into this mix that much in her young career. So you're looking at 4 variables out there. The 2 freshmen, Gabby, and Tuck. The rest of this stuff, I know. I kind of have an idea what we're going to get. For people to think hey, we're going to go down here and win by 25. Why? Because we did last year. I wish these people could coach our team for like 5 days. They'd be calling me and going, I'm not sure about this game.
2 undefeated teams.
Yeah.
Somebody goes home with the first loss.
Yeah. I don't know how that team's going to continue to play. They'll be devastated.
It'll be the end of the world.
Yeah. They'll have to regroup. Kids will probably lose their scholarship. Coaches will have to get fired. The offensive line coach will have to go. Oh, no. The defensive coordinator might have to go.
That said, UConn has a huge win streak going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, if you think back to the Stanford game, that's the one that interrupted the previous
Yeah.
win streak. It started this new one. What is your coaching philosophy when it comes to a loss? Are there lessons you can only learn from a loss?
Are there? Yeah. I mean, there's lessons you can learn from everything. Sometimes what you learn, I've said this 1,000 times, people probably tired of hearing me say this. You know, the one thing you learn from a loss, how to lose. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's not so good. Because if you learn how to lose, then you become kind of okay with it. People ask me all the time, don't you wish it happened more often?
Do you wish your team lost more often?
People ask me that. Don't you think it would be better if you got to reinforce those lessons more often instead of once every 90 games?
What do you think about that?
I think it's a stupid idea. I want to reinforce my lessons after a win. Now, sometimes a loss helps, and you can really use it to your advantage. But, like, if you step on a hole and break your ankle, like, do you need to do that again to remind you that if you step in that hole, you're going to break your ankle? No, you already know. So, like, we already know. And that doesn't mean we're never going to lose again, but no, if we lose, it's because somebody played better than us or we didn't play very well. So what?
Welcome back to the Geno Auriemma Show, presented by UConn Health.
Some of you guys make practice easy, like it's easy. And then you come to the games, and the games are hard. And we got other guys that practice their butts off. They make practice really hard, and then when they get into the game, games are easy for them. Right? That's the goal that you're trying to accomplish.
This summer, Geno Auriemma will once again try to bring home gold when the U.S. women's national team travels to Brazil for the 2016 Summer Olympics. In the latest edition of Geno On, the head coach shares the sense of pride that comes along with representing America.
Probably the fact that you were asked to do it, and that of all the coaches in the country that are available, they asked you to do it. So that's kind of wow. You know, I get to coach the best players in the country. In some cases, the best players in the world. And we're representing the U.S. And it's a huge responsibility. It's an incredibly humbling and rewarding thing if you do it right and you win a gold medal. If you don't do it right and you don't win a gold medal, it's not very rewarding. So to be put in that situation is pretty incredible. To have the opportunity to coach those great players is amazing. To actually help them win a gold medal, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. Nothing in college, nothing anywhere else can compare to that. Ever.
We're back with Coach Auriemma, and later this month, some Olympic training is happening on the Storrs campus. You're the Olympic team coach. You've said it's been an honor. You're also managing your own team right now. Mm-hmm. How do you balance everything, Olympics and the Huskies? Is it challenging for you?
Not really. I don't really get asked to do a lot in the off season. Like, for instance, we went to Europe for 10 days, but it was at a time when we weren't doing anything. So it didn't affect my ability to interact with my team or prepare our team.
This month, though, when you have both things
and,
on your plate.
And now we're looking at 4 days. So Sunday, we're going to practice with the national team, and my team has off. So that's nothing. And Monday, we're going to go for 2 hours, and then my team's going to practice in the afternoon. So it's not like all of a sudden, you know, I've got to stay up 24 hours for 5 straight days, and then I have to remember my players' names. It's not at all like that. And the players from the national team, most of them, they know me. They've been around me. We've been together. We've played world championships together, Olympics together, different trips, Las Vegas, mini camps. We've been around each other so much. It's not hi, I'm Geno Auriemma, and do you understand what I'm talking about? I mean, it's not like that.
Okay.
It's not like that.
What will it be like for Brianna Stewart, who also got an invite?
It depends. It depends. I think she should participate in some capacity or other. Because if she wants to be in position to make the team, then I know it's unfortunate that it's during the middle of her season, but she's in great shape. She's been playing. Some of these guys are playing over in Europe. And so they're taking some time away to come here and train for 3 days. She's playing on this team. So she should take some time and train with this team. How much? I don't know. Maybe the whole camp. Maybe everything that we ask, Diana Taurasi to do, Stewie's going to have to do, just to prove that you deserve consideration to be on the team.
Is it fair to say that the Olympics are in Stewie's favor? It's just a question of when, whether 2016 will be her year?
Well, given her success in college up to this point, and her success in previous USA basketball stuff from the time she was 15, 16 years old, whatever, I would say, yeah. It's just a matter of when. She made the World Championship team. Does that mean you automatically make the Olympic team? I would like to think that that's the case if you're healthy. But I'm old-fashioned. I think if you're on the World Championship team and you're willing to put yourself out there and you go overseas and you grind it out and you have to win a World Championship in order to qualify for the Olympics, then you deserve a spot on the Olympic team.
So Stewie's done the work.
Stewie's done the work.
I know there's a selection committee, so to some degree that removes you from the decision. But do you think
To some degree.
Stewie should be an Olympian this year?
Do I think she should be an Olympian this year? Well, I would look at it this way. Are we in danger of losing the gold medal if Stewie doesn't make the team? No. Not at all. Are we guaranteed to win a gold medal if Stewie makes the team? No. Not at all. Now you tell me, are we in danger of losing the gold medal if Diana's not on the team? Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. So what impact will Stewie have if she is or isn't on the team? I don't know. Do I think she deserves it? I think she's put the time in to USA basketball. She's won more gold medals at her age than anybody in the history of USA women's basketball. So yeah, she's earned the right. She has, in my mind. And since I'm the coach, I get to say that.
How much say do you have ultimately?
Depends. Depends. It depends.
Welcome back to the Geno Auriemma Show, presented by Yukon Health.
We're back with Coach Auriemma, and I noticed something in the Tulane game. It was Kia Nurse who came out of that game. She was 0 for 6. She was crying when she came out. She had those hot little tears in her eyes. You could tell how frustrated she was with herself. Mm-hmm. What does that say about Kia? That in that game, UConn has a large lead, but she was very concerned with her performance.
What's it say?
Yeah.
Honestly, nothing good.
Was she being too hard on herself?
Probably. See, here's what young players have to learn, and this is what we talk about all the time. There's a big difference between playing well and shooting well. So if you don't make any shots, and then you think you didn't play well, then we got to adjust your thinking. Because that's like saying, I went 8 for 8 from the three-point line. I played great. Really? Let's go look at the film. No, you didn't. So, you don't want to come off the floor and react like that, thinking you played poorly just because you didn't make any shots. That's not a good way to go about things. Nobody plays harder than Kia. Nobody competes harder. Nobody gives you as much of herself as she does. Every practice, every drill, every game. So for her to treat herself like that, it's a little disappointing. So I told her that. I said, everybody has so much respect for you in the way you play that When you act like that, it's not good.
All right, I want to ask you about another player that you've complimented a lot. You said if there was a most improved for your team, maybe even the conference, it would be Polly?
Yeah.
One of your former walk-ons? All right. What's Polly doing that has that smile on your face?
Polito jumps out for the steal, and Polito to the basket. Look at the bench.
With all the work that she has to do, and she doesn't come on road trips sometimes because
She's pre-med.
her class load is just too strong. And there's a certain grade point average that she knows she has to have in order to get into the best medical schools and all that other good stuff. So it's on her, you know. So I ask her, hey, you coming? You're not coming? You know, it's up to you. And one conversation we had, like, what's more important? Like a night in Tulsa or a night preparing for a lab that you have? What do you think is going to affect your future more? She goes, I know. I said, well, then do what you got to do. So when she's home, we have this thing called the gun, you know, the shooting gun, you know, and it just fires basketballs at you, and you just keep shooting. And you don't need anybody in there, just you, and you shoot, and it fires it back at you. She's on that thing for hours, and she'll send us a video going, hey, this is me on the gun, and every day that she's home.
Wow.
So what happens in practice now? We play defense, we're on the blue team, she's always on the white team, and we're guarding it, and it's 30-second shot clock, and with 5 seconds left on the shot clock, Polly ends up with the ball because nobody's going to guard her, and bam, she knocks in a three, and then another three, and then another every day. And she has a smirk on her face.
Does she have a little swagger with it too? Okay.
So I told her, I said, she's the most improved player on the team. In the league. AAC, most improved player. Brianna Polito.
How did she take that?
She loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is February. Did that look like anything we ever practiced? No. Who are the two guards out there? Right. Right.
You sometimes forget how hard this job really is. And because it looks so easy sometimes, if you don't remind yourself every day, you look back and you go, how did I miss that? I used to be on top of that like that. How did I miss that?
What do you feel like you're missing?
Just little things sometimes. Just little things
Do you have
that only I would know.
Okay, we can keep it that way.
Yeah, we keep it that way.
Do you have a coaching sweet spot that you would want to go back to? Somewhere where you felt like you were...
On it,
Yeah.
and I owned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 95 comes to mind right away. 91 in our first Final Four team. There's been seasons where you just look back and you say, man, it couldn't have gone any better. Everything you pulled out of the hat was perfect. Stephanie's senior year, that was like magical. Now, I don't know. I don't think I'm as demanding. I don't know. And yet the results are like, we win every game. So.
What would your wife say about the Geno of old, the coach you used to be and the coach you are now? What are her observations?
What are her observations? There's 50% of me that's exactly the same. I do the same things I did back then. I go home and I complain to her about the same things I complained back then, just different people. And then there's the other side of me where I kind of like have thrown my hands up in the air and said, I can only control so much. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's kind of where I am right now.
By virtue of us saying to you, hey, get in for so-and-so. Or, hey, you're in the start lineup. Hey, get in for whatever. That means that at some point, we as coaches sat down and said, we're confident that that guy that we put in there can do this. Well, it can't be that we have more confidence in you than you have in yourself.
If you're going to be good at anything, like I look at it, me as a parent, like I have to be genuine to myself because I have to be authentic. And that's who they are. Geno's a team guy. Chris is a team guy. So they recruited kids to come and join our team. And they made them feel like they were part of something.
Those two freshmen are good, aren't they? Aren't they good? They're like perfect Connecticut players, you know that?
Pick up things very quickly.
And they have multiple skills. Like they're not very one-dimensional.
You know, he sees qualities that are plus qualities, and he gets so excited about the kid that I understand why the kids want to come and play for him. He makes them feel like, you know, you need to come here. This is where you should be.
Every time you shoot the ball here in practice, every shooting drill you do, that's a game winner. So that when you have a shot that's a game winner, it's just like any other shot you've taken the entire day.
You have to go and you have to work with these kids every day. So you're picking, who do I want to work with every day? Geno's greatest strength is he's not afraid to go right at your heart. He's not afraid, just like a parent, like you have to go right. You can't be afraid that they're going to crumble, because sometimes that's exactly what they need.
I think back a lot. Maybe I sense that players today aren't growing up with that kind of demanding mentality put on them every day. So I've kind of like, I can't believe this. Whereas back then, I really didn't care. And I was very, very, very demanding. I demanded stuff that they didn't think they could do.
But then they did it.
Eventually. Yeah.
That does it for this week. We hope you enjoyed the show. For upcoming Geno Show dates and times, be sure to check out sny.tv/UConn. I'm Kareth Burke. We'll see you next time.